Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Sadhana Chatushtaya is a teaching of the divine sage Adi Shankara. This teaching refers to the 4 traits that one should strive and develop before and during one's spiritual journey.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Having introduced Viveka in the previous episodes, we now briefly touch upon the second of the 4 traits, namely Vairagya, or non-attachment to end result. As I sat in deep contemplation at the Dashashwamedha Ghat that morning, these were the thoughts on Vairagya that came to me.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
So in today's Kaivalya Marga lesson, when we get at Viveka, we enter into a state called Vairagya. Vairagya is popularly known as detachment, non-attachment, dispassion. But as I always say, Sanskrit words are just Sanskrit words. These encompass half a dozen or 1 dozen of English words or other languages to explain that one term, Vairagya. Shankara says here and hereafter, dispassion of the fruits of action of here and hereafter. So in other words, you're working, you're putting all your effort in, and then you're not chasing the result of that. You're like, you know what, if the effort has been put in, the result will bear exactly proportionate to the efforts put in. So why am I worried about the result? Be dispassionate about the result. If the result doesn't come favorable, then I focus back on the effort that I put in. Not chase the results, not try to make some result happen. So it's not a goal-oriented approach. Vairagya is not goal-oriented. Vairagya is vision-oriented. You allow the vision to present itself and accept whatever vision is presented itself. Where does it come from to present itself? The vision comes from your inner core. When you open your heart and your mind to learning, the vision comes from within. So I was offered some hashish and I politely refused. Anyway, the point here is the concept of the next stage of Vairagya is where you focus more on the effort and you let go of the results of your effort. You let go in the sense you just say, you know what, if it will materialize, whatever the effort is. It's a very great principle, a very great attitude that we need to develop towards work in general, towards life in general, I think. One second. Towards life in general, I think. But more importantly, Vairagya is where you become more focused on the excellence and you allow the vision from within to come out. And like I said, vision comes, where does it come from? It's not goal-oriented. It is vision-oriented. Vision comes from within, based on your core belief system, based on everything that you have practiced. A vision presents itself. A vision of who you are, what do you think you can achieve, whatever your reality is, the vision presents itself. Hang on 1 second, sorry. I got distracted. I'm a little worried about carrying these bags. I don't know who's coming behind me. I don't know, suddenly that thought struck me. I don't know why. Anyway, the point here is, where does vision come from? Vision comes from within. And it presents itself to you. And then you allow that vision to fulfill itself by focusing on the effort that has to be put towards the vision. That's all. The vision will automatically fulfill, based directly and more than proportionate to your effort. The universe does that. The universe, based on your strengths and your beliefs, will present your vision. This is very different from our modern teaching, where we teach to set up goals based on strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, threats. You have the SWOT analysis they teach you in management, and they say, all right, now set your goal and go for it, plan accordingly. It's a very different approach in spirituality, where you don't set goals. Goals are not set. The vision is not set based on your strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and strengths. You don't know your inner strengths, so how do you know what kind of goals to set? So you assume certain weaknesses. They may not be true at all. You may assume certain strengths, and then you may have far more insight than what you have assumed. So that the beauty is, allow the vision to come. Vairagya is accepting the vision that presents itself to you in life and working towards that vision, towards the fulfillment of that vision. And that vision keeps changing, keeps growing, causing you to keep stepping out of your comfort zone all the time. That is what self-realization is. It's not a static goal. Vairagya, Patanjali says, Vairagya is what gives you Nirodha state. Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha. Abhyasa, practice with detachment, with Vairagya, with dispassion. In other words, just focus on your practice. Why worry about how much more flexible I can be, or can I touch my toes, or can I do the splits, and can I do the press handstand? All that comes. If it doesn't come, something else much more better than a handstand will present itself, because you are churning your inner core, and it's so deep inside, and so many lifetimes of learning is stored there, you wouldn't know what comes out of it. So let the kaleidoscope of your past karmas work itself and present the vision that you are destined to fulfill in your lifetime. Vairagya, dispassion, is not making a goal in life, not setting out to achieve something or seek something because of an intense desire or a craving, or because everybody else does it, but you asking your inner core to present itself, and then dispassionately allowing that vision to fulfill while you focus on the efforts towards fulfilling that vision. So in the Kaivalya Marga, understand what is Vairagya. Meditate on this in today's class as a lesson from today's class, as a homework, if you will. This is again a learning for the whole life. Viveka is one pillar. The second pillar in the fourfold prerequisite, the fourfold foundations of a spiritual aspirant, spiritual path, is Vairagya, detachment or dispassion. Viveka and Vairagya. Vairagya teaches you to focus on excellence, not on success. Success is based on results, result-oriented. You know, they say he's a result-oriented man. He closes deals. He's successful. Yes, that is success. And you keep chasing success. Success will always be one step ahead of you. Vairagya is excellence. You achieve excellence at this moment in life based on your inner strengths. You do your best, you're already excellent. And tomorrow you say, I'm going to take this one step further and become more excellent. So when you chase excellence, when you practice excellence, success is behind you. Success chases you. Wherever you go, success comes behind you. Like a servant. You don't have to chase success. Whether it is name, fame, money, whatever, they all come behind you. Because you are focused on excellence. If you chase success, then you will be chasing it for the rest of your life. Then you compromise on excellence. You try to window dress yourself. You try to appear something you're not. And then you try to project yourself out there there's a hollowness inside. To a large extent, social media, because it's so new, does that to people. You start projecting something you're not. That's why in many videos I'm bare-bodied. I like to be, because this is who I am. I want to be naked in the sense of, this is who I am, this is what I believe. I feel that I need to be the more honest and the more open we are in spiritual path, in sharing what we believe in, and in the humility to accept that somebody else could have a much better perspective, a greater experience that you can benefit from, and you continuously learn from that. Then that is real Vairagya. I have my friends here.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
I stumbled into snake charmers sitting on the ghat with magnificent cobras. I couldn't resist the temptation to spend some time with these sublime mystical creatures.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
The snake is the representation of the divine energy that is at the base of the spine, the Kundalini. She is such a beautiful creature that I'm very, very fascinated. I've always been fascinated by this beautiful divine creature. This is around Shiva's neck. That means the highest consciousness adorns the snake, that is fear, is around his neck. He just adorns it as a garland. He enjoys being adorned by snakes. So the beauty of this creature is that this signifies state of no fear. I've always loved them, always treasured them. And this is not a crazy video stunt, but this is to show you that there is the reason why there is a great reverence for snake. Nag Devata as it is called, Nagraj as he is called. That is the reason why we regard them with such great love and respect. There is an element of fear, but there's a greater sense of reverence. So it is with that sense of reverence and humility that I'm doing this video, just to share this great joy. And it's almost after 35-40 years I'm having a snake with me. So it is with that joy that I'm offering this to the Shiva within me, and let this beautiful snake explore me as I adorn this Nagraj. Om Namah Shivaya. Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
अच्छा, तो ये आप दांत नहीं निकाले ना?
नहीं, सिर्फ विष निकालते हैं।
अच्छा, उसका जो विष निकाल देते हैं और निकालते रहना पड़ता है उसको?
नहीं, एक ही बार निकालते हैं, फिर 3 महीने पे तैयार होता है।
अच्छा, 3 महीने में एक बार तैयार होता है?
तैयार होता है।
अच्छा, 3-3 महीने में निकालते रहते हो?
3 महीने में निकालते हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा। और खिलाते कितने हो?
उसको खिलाने में हफ्ते में 2 बार।
क्या खिलाते हो उनको?
ये मांसाहारी होते हैं सब।
हाँ हाँ, नहीं अंडे वगैरह खिलाते हो? चूहा, अच्छा,
ये सब
वो मिल जाता है आपको?
हाँ, मिल जाता है।
अच्छा, मरा हुआ खाते हैं वो?
जिंदा।
जिंदा खिलाना पड़ता है ना?
अंडा फोड़ के रखना पड़ता तब पीते हैं।
ओके, बढ़िया। So they feed the snakes twice every week. They remove the poison once every 3 months. Hopefully when the snake was around my neck, I think it was just removed. I don't know. I didn't ask them. So that's the beauty of this. They regard it, they worship it, they don't harm these creatures. आप इनको हिंसा तो नहीं करते हैं ना? आपको भी ये भगवान के रूप होते हैं. So they also consider them with a great sense of reverence and a sense of worship. So I met him yesterday. These are people who are dedicated their lives. They don't ask anything, you know. They don't ask. So beautiful, so beautiful. So he has given me this beautiful snake around the shivling, carved out of a rudraksha. He said his guru has given him, and they are from Rajasthan. So he said, you keep it, and he's given me as his blessing. Obviously I'll give him a dakshina for this, but it's so beautiful, and it will occupy a place of pride in the puja that we do. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. After I held the snake and kept him around my neck and did that short video, I had like a line of people waiting to touch me and feel blessed. Fear is a very strange thing. Very strange. If you do something which 10 people are afraid of, rather than them, I'm saying generally, the instinct to say, okay, he can do it, so I can, why can't I try? Rather the instinct is to say, oh my gosh, he did something, and so he must be perhaps having some greater powers or something. So the point is, all these people thought I had some great energy, because like the snake charmer said, they remove the poison once every 3 months. So what if this was the 80th day and not the 90th day? So there is poison inside the snake. I didn't know, I didn't care much. I know it's not my time to leave the body today, so I knew it. So if I had to die, Varanasi, place of liberation. Anyway, that was not going to happen. The snakes they are used to being handled. So it just always amazes me to see that fear is so deeply inbuilt into our psyche, and we nurture fear in many ways. One of the lessons from Vairagya, therefore, would be how about dispassion and distance yourself from fear rather than associate yourself with fear. You are not the one who is getting afraid. Your mind is, perhaps. Your ego is, perhaps. Your experience is laden or colored with fear based on past experiences. But not you. Because you are beyond these experiences. You are the one that exists even in deep sleep where no experience exists. So once you know that that is the real you, you are not the one who is afraid, you are not the one who is brave, you are not the one who is sad, you are not the one who is happy. You are just you. When that sense comes into you, when you practice that, that brings a sense of Vairagya, a sense of detachment, a sense of just being able to observe. So when you learn to observe things without fear, without preconditions, without judgments of good, bad, all that, but you learn from that energy something. Like I saw all these shops, I learned that energy, that there is around these core places, there is intensity of all kinds. Apparently it sounds like chaotic, but it's not chaotic. That's just an energy manifesting itself from the epicenter of what you call spiritual energy. Dispassion then becomes natural. Vairagya then becomes natural. So when you sit in meditation, therefore, having practiced a lifestyle, you spend your day and weeks in Vairagya, in a sense of just observing things, not getting attached to them. Just like in Viveka, they all go in hand, they are not watertight compartments. So when you do that, then when you sit in meditation, the I within you, which is separate, begins like a snake, it comes up. That I is the Kundalini. The Kundalini is not some mystical, magical power. It's a real I in you. And that awakening is so divine, so beautiful, so, oh my gosh, it's like 10,000 milligrams of, what do you call that? Mushrooms. Wait a minute, what do you call that? Psychedelic mushrooms, maybe 10,000 milligrams of it, I think. It becomes so vivid, so awakening is so much that it is Adi Shankara. So the beauty of that awakening is so magnificent. What is that awakening? Is some crazy serpent inside you? It's you, the I in you, completely detached from Ida and Pingala. She enters, I'm going to call it she, just because it has a poetic fling to it. The energy, she enters the Shushumna, the central nadi inside your body. In that central nadi is detached from all the 71,999 nadis. Because apparently there are 72,000 nadis. So there's one nadi is a Shushumna nadi. Thin as a lightning. Thinner than a lotus stem, as they call it. Within the lotus stem, there is there's a central stalk that goes inside, and that resembles a Sushumna Nadi. That's why lotus is very symbolic for chakras. So awakening, therefore, the I in you becomes detached from all of the Zida and Pingala, and then enters the Sushumna, and she begins to rise like a cobra, so gracefully. And as she touches different centers of consciousness, each of those centers open up, blast your consciousness beyond. Even though it's momentary, it's fantastic. Initially it will be momentary. After that, a part of her will always be in these chakras, always keeps you in a heightened state of consciousness. That is the benefit of Vairagya. That is the benefit of true dispassion. And when you practice that in your meditation, if you bring that as a lifestyle, then Viveka and Vairagya become two strong foundations, two strong pillars on which you will base your yoga practice, on which you will base your spiritual practice. Whether it is Bhakti Yoga, whether it is Raja Yoga, whether it is Hatha Yoga, whatever the type of yoga, without these foundational pillars of Viveka and Vairagya, treat them as two brothers. Viveka is the ability to prioritize, the ability to distinguish, and Vairagya is the ability to be dispassionate and allowing a sense of acceptance, a sense of surrendering to the universe taking place. I am at a ghat called the Kedarnath Ghat, and again this is what is happening here right now. So there's a lot of rituals. Sorry, I don't know where this camera is facing because the screen is so tiny. So this is where all the action is. Again, a lot of rituals takes place for ancestors and religious rites and so on. So, my dear friends, think of Vairagya today in your Kaivalya Marga lesson. Try to bring in Vairagya, make it your second nature. And before I end, Vairagya is certainly not giving up your family and running away from family. Please don't write to me or ask me or say, what about my family? I have children, how can I practice Vairagya? Vairagya has nothing to do with all that kind of thing. That is like, with everything it became dogmatic, the concept of Vairagya, detachment. And so since you had only monks teaching us, so what happened was they taught you things which they practice. They left their families, so what do you expect them to say? They taught you that way. So that's how it kind of trickled and kind of got a little colored. So it got colored. Vairagya has nothing to do with physically leaving your family or giving up your job. None of that. Vairagya is your ability of unconditional acceptance. Wow, I like that. It is unconditional acceptance. Of what? Of the vision that comes to you. What do I do today? Let a vision present itself. How do I do this? Let a vision present itself. How do I handle a situation? Allow the vision to present itself, the solution to present itself, and then all you have to do is carry out that solution. Just carry out it. That's as simple as that. You don't have to figure out a solution. A problem never comes to us without a solution already inherently built into the problem. And therefore there is no problem. There are only solutions. There are only challenges. Your job is to look for the solution hidden inside the problem. You look for the pearl that is hidden inside the shell. Look for the divinity that is hidden inside you. That is all it is. So when you learn to do that, allow the solution to present itself, allow the vision to present itself, and unconditionally accept it for that moment, for that day, and allow that vision to change, again unconditionally accepting it, then your growth is unconditional. It's infinite. It keeps growing and it never ends. The learning never ends. The experience never ends. The divinity within you never stops growing. You start embracing everyone, everybody without any conditions. You begin to lose a sense of what is right, what is wrong. The idea of feeling guilty about anything, all that vanishes. A sense of deep self-respect, a sense of deep self-confidence, and above all, a sense of great self-empowerment envelops you. Begin to live your life like that. That is the energy of Vairagya. So thank you for watching. For today's class, practice Vairagya. Think of Vairagya. Meditate on this word Vairagya, what it means to you, and how you can harness the energies of this fantastic spiritual attitude to release the divinity lying latent from within. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.